there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today I'm going to show you how to make this no-sew Bride of Frankenstein costume using supplies from our sponsor Papermart. You can find them online at www.papermart.com. Now let's get our Halloween on. Alright, I made my mannequin a little bit taller than I am, and I'm just going to start by draping a white sheet, or this is actually an old costume. It was kind of the bottom layer of an old kind of toga-like costume, and I thought that would be fine just for the underlaying shell of the Bride of Frankenstein. So I'm just dripping that on there. This was a man's costume, so it's going to be really billowy. And I've got these old big chunky boots. They were kind of in fashion back in the 90s, and I still had them, so that's going to be part of the costume. It'll make me a little bit taller, and it'll kind of have that that kind of clunkiness that Frankenstein's monsters are known for. The next thing I want to do is I want to stiffen across the shoulders a little bit, and for that I have a piece of wood, and I'm going to cover that with some of this felt to make kind of like a batting. And this is going to go across the back like that, and I am just going to wrap this. I'm going to kind of fold over the edges like so. Okay, and I'm just going to roll it up. And then I can pin that to the shoulders until I'm ready to stitch it down. Now for the main part of the costume, I am going to use this awesome burlap, and this comes in 10-yard rolls from Papermart. It's very affordable. They have it in different widths, and you can even get sheets of it. And there are several colors. This is, I believe this is the white or the natural. This is the white natural, and they have one that's more of like a brown natural and also a moss, different colors like that for whatever events you want to use it for. It's really great for holiday decorating and making wreaths with and stuff like that. So I like to keep it in the plastic until I'm ready to use it. That keeps dust off of it. And I thought that this fabric being kind of rigid would work really well to get the feeling of the Bride of Frankenstein across. And these are 10-yard rolls. I got 2 rolls just to make sure I'd have enough. But what I'm going to want to do is actually stitch 2 side by side and get a really kind of nice voluminous drape going on here. Here's my little felt burrito. I got the stick there wrapped up loosely with felt, and I have used hot glue to secure that in several points down the line. And now I've got 2 5-foot or 4.5 to 5 foot long pieces of the burlap, and I'm going to glue them to this, overlapping them. And you can tuck the raw edges under if you want, but I don't think it's really going to be that big of a deal. In fact, after Halloween I might take this right apart and do something else with the burlap. Use a generous amount of hot glue for this, and it's not going to come apart. I want to make sure I go a little bit beyond the edge and the top, just so that I have room to tuck and finish in the ends later if I need to. And this is the back. Just letting about 1/2 inch hang over on the end. Okay, what I've done here, I took the piece that we just glued, and then I took about the same length, maybe a little bit shorter, probably 4.5 foot length of burlap, and cut it down the middle. That's going to give me the 2 side panels to go over the shoulder. So I held them in place with binder clips, and now I'm just going to use my hot glue gun to run a bead of glue right underneath the edge of the burlap, and that's going to soak through. And the reason I have the clips there is because I really don't want to burn myself, and that will kind of help it structurally. So I just went right underneath each of those flaps. And then since the glue is back here, it's not going to get on my dress form, or on the other part of the costume, which I may not want to permanently adhere. So when I have that over like that, I don't want to quite set it down on the shoulders yet because I'm afraid the glue's not dry, but it will give you an idea of how that's going to go. And I want to attach one more length of the burlap in the middle to be to kind of be the square neck that the Bride of Frankenstein has, but I feel like I want to make it a little more stable, so I'm going to take a little bit more of the white felt that I used to cover the stick and make kind of a little smock to go in behind the burlap. You'll see that in just a second. I've clipped the smock in place here at the shoulders, so you can kind of see that ridge there. That's the felt. And I can't emphasize how nice it is to have a mannequin like this when you're working on a costume, because you can set it to your own size, and you don't have to stop to try on your clothes all the time. So now I can see how I want to adhere this. And, you know, keeping with the no-sew-ness of this costume, I am just going to hot glue this down just like this, and under the burlap here on the sides, and that's going to give me a really nice stable bond, and it's going to hold up definitely through my 2 Halloween parties, and then I might take it apart and make something else with it. So let me glue that together, and then you'll be able to see the results. Okay, I am here in my Bride of Frankenstein costume I showed you how to make. I have my wig on that I showed you in the other video, and my makeup that I showed you in the other video. And it's not really fancy, but it's definitely something that you can do, anybody can do. You don't have to be a makeup artist or a sewer or anything. I mean, anybody can make this. Alright, so the last finishing touch on this costume is to find some gauze, and you can get this at the drugstore or even at the dollar store or department store. And you're going to want to go around your arms. Start with a safety pin to start attaching it to your sleeve. Now you might, if you live in a colder climate, you may, instead of having a short sleeve dress underneath, you may want to wear a turtleneck and some leggings or something. But whatever you're wearing, start by pinning your gauze with the safety pin, and don't worry about hiding the safety pin, because you might want to put a few here and there or look extra, you know, punky and just kind of fun. And you want to kind of spread out the gauze, kind of flatten it out as you go. There's supposed to be 4 yards in here, and you can let some of your skin show through. As I looked at older pictures of Bride of Frankenstein, I noticed that that in a lot of instances, I mean, her face wasn't even really that white. It was, you know, very minimal makeup. And I decided I wanted to go with that. Elsa Lancaster was a knockout, and it was really a fun, great character. So I thought I'd stay true to that. Not to mention, I'm just using regular Halloween makeup from the drugstore or from the department store, so it's nothing you have to order online. So there, just having that little bit of gauze on your arms is going to make a huge difference in your costume. Again, we're just pinning it up on the side and wrapping it down. Easy as pie. I hope you try to make your costume this year. Making Halloween costumes is so much fun, and you can truly be anything you want to be when you make your own costume. I want to thank Paper Mart for sponsoring this video today. If you are in need of any of the supplies I use, check them out online at www.papermart.com, where we make you look even better. And if you missed the wig or makeup tutorial in this Bride of Frankenstein series, make sure you check them out. There'll be links below in the video description. And it's a lot of fun. It's nothing fancy. It's, you know, just making some fun costumes with friends. And I do hope you check it out and enjoy them, and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, happy crafting.